नमो नमस्ते गुरवे महात्मने विमुक्तसंगाय सदुत्तमाय नित्याद्वयानन्दरसस्वरूपिणे भूम्ने सदा पारदयाम्बुधाम्ने नमस्ते नमस्ते विभो विश्वमूर्ते नमस्ते नमस्ते चिदानन्दमूर्ते ते नमस्ते नमस्ते तपोयोगगम्य नमस्ते नमस्ते श्रुतिज्ञानगम्य स्वाराज्य साम्राज्य विभूतिरेषा भवत्कृपा श्रीमहिमप्रसादात् प्राप्ता मया श्रीगुरवे महात्मने नमो नमस्तेस्तु पुनर्नमोस्तु नमो नमस्तेस्तु पुनर्नमोस्तु नमो नमस्तेस्तु पुनर्नमोस्तु नमस्तस्मै सदैकस्मै कस्मै चिन्महसे नमः यदेतद्विश्वरूपेण राजते गुरुराजते यदेतद्विश्वरूपेण राजते गुरुराजते। हरि ओम तत्सत्। शांति मंत्र। ओम सहना भवतु
ओम सहना भवतु
सहनौ भुनक्तु
सहनौ भुनक्तु
सह वीर्यं करवावहै
सह वीर्यं करवावहै
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु
मा विद्विषावहै
मा विद्विषावहै।
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
So we are at Taittiriya Upanishad, Brahmananda Valli, up to 5th Anuvaka we have already done. Today we will start from the 6th Anuvaka. Up to 5th Anuvaka, as in the introduction she mentioned, that we have analyzed the step-by-step way of our moving from the gross to the subtle. Just a little recapitulation, if you can show the 20th slide, I would like to explain it. There, through these Anuvakas, what we were studying, it is very well summarized in this 20th slide. If we can remember only this slide with its details, then it is enough. The other details, when you read the Upanishad, the mantras, You have to go into it, you have to re-understand, you have to go into the meaning, Anvaya, etc. But the gist of it, if you understand this is parallelly showing the two developments. One is everybody has the question that why God created this universe? Wherefrom these are born? Actually, there is no reply to why. It is our intelligence that is asking why. There is no God like that, like a person creating anything. The creation just happens to be, just appears on Brahman, which is not found in the material objective sphere. This we should remember. Whenever we are talking about Brahman, it is not something which you can observe or learn about as an object before you. It can only be known as our own I, as our own amness, as our own self. It cannot be known any other manner, by any other means. So, but Brahman does not have anything in it, no identification mark even. You have to transcend everything to know it. So such a Brahman, how did this creation come? So it is not why, but it is how we can try to understand. That model is given in these Anuvakas. In Mundakopanishad, in the beginning we have read that tapasa chiyate brahma tato annam abhijayate. Tapasa chiyate brahma. That means the Brahman as consciousness, it cannot be expressed. Everywhere we say that it is beyond expression, beyond the understanding of thought and all. So as if it swelled, you can chiyate the word, you can say it swelled, or there is something happening. By that the Brahman doesn't undergo any change at all, but it appears as different from that. By that the whole subject-object division is first born. Because in Brahman there is no subject-object division, that I am the knower, I am knowing, I am the seer, I am seeing something else. That also is not there. It is self revealing itself. As we say that the Advaya Anubhuti, that it is different from all other knowledges where the object and subject difference is there. Here subject and object meet, that is the ultimate truth. It is variously discussed in Yoga Vasishtha, it is discussed as where the seer and the seen meet. That is the point we have to know. Where the knower and the known meet. We know about the Atma, we learn about the Atma, finally that Atma, we become that Atma, then only the knowledge becomes complete. So, in the next mantra of Mundakopanishad, they are saying, Yas sarvavit sarvajnaha yasya jnanamayam tapaha. See, in the previous one he said tapasa chiyate brahma. That is as if it is an austerity by which the whole creation is appearing in Brahman. Austerity of the Brahman itself, because there is nothing else. Now the Brahman does not have mind or any sense organs at that time to create anything. He doesn't have hand, legs or anything at all. So what is it that is creating? He says, Yasya jnanamayam tapaha. He knows everything. Yes, sarvajnaha, sarvavit, who knows everything. Because everything is happening in him. Will he not know? It is that very knowingness is what we call Brahman. So it will know everything. We don't have to let the truth know about our prayer, I want this, I want that. Before we say, God knows, the truth knows what is in our mind, because that very process of knowingness is what we are talking about. Yasya jnanamayam tapaha, this we should remember. That what is that tapas? Normally our tapas are various kinds. We explained in Bhagavad Gita 17th chapter that Sharira tapas, Vangmaya tapas, Manasa tapas and all. These are all applicable to human beings. For the Brahman, it is only the Jnanamayam tapaha. There is nothing other than knowledge at all. So the whole universe is appearing in that, the substance of the substratum as well as the substance. It is not a substance, but where it is appearing, it is the whole universe is made of knowledge, you can say. Knowledge means not a knowledge which we will try to know from here. Knowledge means consciousness. The very knowingness. This is the truth. Now, in the process, when we think of the creation, they are trying to give us a model how from that consciousness the appearance of the world is taking place, and how again we are going back from our present situation to the realization of the truth. You look into the picture there, that the Atma or I or Brahman, anything you say, it starts from there. Then from there, this Anuvaka said that from that Akasha is born. Akasha means space. That is, space is the first born. If you go into the space, you will know that the space, according to definition, there cannot be space without the object also. How will you define space? But space is something where entire material universe is existing or appearing to be. So that is the first thing. Then from Akasha it goes to Vayuhu. Vayuhu means it is gaseous. It need not be our air, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen. It is gaseous form. From space it is happening. The gaseous form is appearing there. From there, Agnihi, that means fire. This is the state of the sun, you can say. What is happening in the sun? The sun is made of hydrogen and helium. Part of the hydrogen is always radiating and becoming helium. So the sun is made of hydrogen and helium, and it is full of, it's a blob of Agni, fire and light and heat and whatnot. Now when that cools down, from the sun perhaps all these grahas have come. In our solar system, all the planets, they have originated from the sun. Maybe initially it was just the fireballs, that is with the gaseous object radiating light and heat. Then as it cools down, it becomes water. Apaha. You see, Agnihi Apaha. It becomes water there. Then the water further gets cooled down and settles. From the water comes the Prithvi, that is the earth. The earth means the material earth, solid. So water is fluid, and then from there earth, which is solid. Now this Prithvi is in the Anuvakas we have found that Prithvi Pratishtha. This Prithvi is the lowermost level of this process of appearing from Atma, appearing one by one the grosser things. And this is the last in the line. Prithvi is the last in the line, which is considered to be the Pratishtha, means you can start from there. That is the base, that is the substratum. Now on the Prithvi, Oshadhaya, the Prithvi gives rise to herbs, and Oshadhaya becomes Annam. They become the food for the others. Then from there gets born the Purusha. Now between this Prithvi and the Purusha, the other things like the herbs and perhaps animals also, and some form of human beings also could be there. They are all, we can say ardha chetana, that means half conscious. That means they, only in human being we started reflecting within to find out who we are and what is this world, and trying to understand. All these things were not there in the earlier levels. In the herbal world also it is not there. So it's definitely from Prithvi starts the process of, I would like to call it evolution. From Atma to Prithvi, if we can use the word involution, we use the word involution. I don't know whether it is used generally, I am using involution. That means everywhere as the Atma, as the material things are appearing in the Atma is there already in it. In the scriptural language they will say that Atma created and entered in it. That language you will find everywhere in the mantras. The God created the world and entered in it, and he permeates everything. Now it is not that God is separate from something who after creating the world he is entering the world. It's not like that. It's a process of involution. That means you cannot have anything other than the Atma there. It is the Atma which itself is appearing as different, with the different appearances. So it is producing that finally in the form of earth. Earth also, the basic inside, the inmost part of the earth is, inmost means it is appearing on Atma. So the inmost truth of earth also is Atma. So all this entire process we can call involution. That is, we can say antaravritti, if you understand Bengali or Sanskrit. Antaravritti, that means creating and evolving from inside, getting inside. Whereas from Prithvi onwards, we can call it evolution. Evolution, you know the whole evolution of species and all, it is in the same sense. It is from something, now it is evolving, it is spreading. How? First in the form of herbs, then in the form that herbs became the annam, that is for the food for others. And we have, in detail, we have learned that food, when we say, food is actually in both ways. The annam and annada. One who takes food is called annada, and what is taken is called annam. But actually the annam word has come from which is eaten and which eats also. Because suppose we are eating the herbs. Now by that, then what is happening? Finally we are getting mixed in the earth and we are becoming food for the earth. We are becoming food for the herbs. It's a cycle always going on. The animals, they are eating many things. The herbal animals are eating herbs. But in the process, finally when the animal dies or it excretes also, everything is getting mixed with the earth. So there the animal becomes the food for the earth. So whatever is the food, it is the eater also. Annam and annada are the same, that is called the food. So there what happened initially when the herbs were formed, the Oshadhayaha, then itself we are finding that life is there. See, up to Prithvi, solid substance, it was absolutely inert, there was no life. So as scientifically speaking, as the molecules are changing, they combine and making more complicated molecules and all, they finally starts manifesting prana, life. What is the quality of the life? Life, there is a self-sustenance. That it automatically, suppose our body, if the temperature goes on increasing beyond 106 or 7 or so, we will die, we will not be able to survive. So our body automatically emits the heat outside, it radiates the heat outside so that its temperature remains within 98 Fahrenheit or so. It maintains it. In physics we call it entropy. If the entropy, in the case of the living beings, it maintains its entropy. That is the orderliness. Entropy is another meaning is orderliness also, harmony also. So it has to, with the harmony with which it is exhibiting prana, manifesting prana, that harmony has to be preserved. And for that, the life gives that mechanism of preserving the harmony by giving out the entropy or the heat outside, throwing the heat outside. When it is not able to do it, then it dies and it starts getting degenerated and getting mixed with the earth again. So that was the inception of life. So it is not that life has got born from the herb. In our concept, in scriptural concept, life is a force which, if the material, which is the living material, the materials underwent a change so that it can manifest life. So it is manifesting life. Similarly, as it goes further, complications and the molecules undertake much more changes, a brain is developed and all, it manifests intelligence, mind first. In the animals, intelligence also partly in the animals. Then in human being, it is not only intelligence, it is a knowingness which is enquiry. They are not enough. It is not enough if human beings just go on working whatever he is coming to know. He wants to investigate, he wants to enquire, not only into the world, but to itself also. He starts investigating, who am I who is knowing the world? That is how the spiritual enquiry starts. So this kind of a conscious Purusha is an evolutionary process from Prithvi Now, this evolution is not complete until we complete the cycle. So, in the human being, the principal force which is different from the animals, all the animals, is enquiry into one's own self. That is what Viveka Chudamani and other scriptures, they say, particularly Viveka Chudamani says very clearly that this is the speciality of the human being, that they can enquire into who they are, into their own existence. Now, if that is done, then there is a further evolutionary course which will bring us back to the 12 o'clock position of Atma, I. It's beautifully described. See, the first is that you know you are an Anandamaya Purusha. That is the gross body. That everybody knows. For that, we don't have to evolve. But if you evolve further, try to meditate within, as in Kathopanishad it says, Kaschid dhiraha amritatvamichan pratyaga atmanam aikshat avritta chakshuhu. That paranchikhani Vatrinat swayambhuhu tasmat parang pashyati na antaratman kaschid dhiraha pratyaga atmanam aikshata avritta chakshuhu amritatvam icchan. That normally people, we are created with our indriyas outgoing, so nobody looks within. We just go on acting on whatever we are seeing, whatever is attracting we are running after, whatever is repelling we are running away from. This is our life. But there are some dhiraha, some intelligent people who are not completely deluded by whatever is happening outside. So they say that the whole external world, including our own body-mind complex, we are finding to be always changeful. It is perishable, changeful. Is there not an imperishable substratum, not an unchanging substratum on which this whole changefulness drama is taking place. So to find out who am I who is the witness of this changeful world or objectude, to find out that, what did they do? Avritta chakshuhu. They inverted their focus from outside to inside. Avrita chakshu means closing their eyes, but actually it's figurative expression. They started looking within to look for, is there anything amritatvam, immortal, that means unchanging. Because in the world, in the created world, there is nothing you can find which is unchanging. Change is the very basis of creation. Material creation cannot take place without change. So it is absolutely useless to look for amritatva in the external objective world. So they looked within and they discovered the Pratyaga Atma. They discovered the Atma within, which is the unchanging substratum. Like that, here also, to look for that, when we look within, the first level of transcendence from the Anandamaya Kosha, we come to the Pranamaya Kosha, where normally we are always identifying with the bodily identity, the gross body, the Annamaya, not Kosha. I don't want to use the Kosha here. Kosha is not the proper expression. Our gross body, our identity, gross identity, we are always aware of. Even the prana also we are not aware of. So when we start meditating on the prana aspect of our being, and we realize that pranamaya identity, that the life force, the vital identity in us, what we find that, well, that is also like the Purusha, that Purusha Vidha, that means as the Anuvakas we have already studied. As if it has also a limitation and shape of the Annamaya body, Annamaya identity, but it is everywhere, it is pulsating, vibrating, it is the feeling of the prana everywhere. So that the prana which is vibrating, pulsating through the Annamaya body, that is felt. Now that pranamaya body, the pranamaya Purusha, is filling the Annamaya Purusha. Every time when we go to the subtler things, the subtler thing is filling the grosser. So the Annamaya Purusha is being filled by the Pranamaya Purusha. So we identify with the Pranamaya Purusha and feel the prana everywhere. And every time they said that one who can know Brahman as this prana, he can have this, that and all. Everywhere we have all those, I have read. If you go farther within, then see, they are having the same involution course also. If you can compare, you will find that pranamaya, there is not intelligence and mind. It is the living, as in the case of herbs, the oshadhaya. It is parallel to the oshadhaya. That the life you are able to identify with. If you go farther subtle, in a subtler level, then you identify with the manomaya purusha. That is, it is made of all thoughts and concepts and whatnot. It is in the mind. So the whole being is only, as they have said, it is Rig Veda, Yajurveda and all. Whatever the mind is given to, whatever the thoughts are, you get filled with that. As you proceed subtler and subtler, the limitations and the boundary, they also will become slowly, they will become hazy. It will spread. The spreading will be more and more. If you go farther subtler level, mind, you can see even in the animals also, mind to some extent intelligence is also there. But when we say Vijnanamaya Purusha, it is the very basis of intelligence where the understanding takes place. It's the very basis of understanding. So when we identify with the Vijnanamaya Purusha, it is as if the cosmic intelligence, we become the cosmic intelligence, we identify with the cosmic intelligence. But still, we know it as if they are repeatedly saying in each Anuvaka, they said, Purusha Vidhayava. That means we still have the identity that I am this, I am that. I am the Annamaya Purusha. I am the Pranamaya Purusha. I am the Manomaya Purusha. I am the Vijnanamaya Purusha. That separate identity is still there. That is what you have to remember. Then, if you further can go within, go penetrate inside, then suddenly you find that it's all blissful. Everywhere it is bliss. And this bliss has the speciality that you don't have normally any ananda, any joy, any happiness. There is a sparsha involved. You want you are getting the happiness from this, from that. You are getting the ananda by seeing somebody, or by getting somebody, gaining something, or by losing something. In this case, there is no losing something, gaining, touching something. There is no sparsha at all. It is just ananda oozing out from the very source. So here we have, can you show the 19th slide also, just to give the picture of the Anandamaya Purusha we have shown? Then again come back to the circle. My throat is getting problem. Whenever this Maya is used, if you know grammar, that is why we always say that a little Sanskrit, if you know, it will give you a lot of joy. This Anandamaya, this Maya is coming from, it is called Mayat Pratyaya. Pratyaya means the ending. Mayat Pratyaya means it is something separated. That something has got, Ananda is filling it. That means that they are wanting to point out that it means you still have the separate identity. It's not the Atma or the Brahman. You have the separate identity. Most probably in Panchadashi, it is called Ananda Bhuk. This state is called Ananda Bhuk. That means still the Bhoga Pravritti is there. You are enjoying bliss. The bliss is filling you, but you are still having the enjoyment there as an identity. So your separate identity is there. Now, so here then you have to cross further. How do you cross it? I have discussed earlier also. It's a complete surrender, a process of complete surrender, becoming free of all desires. This Ananda Bhuk state, that we are looking for joy, which is called Bhoga Ichha, Bhoga Pravritti. If that doesn't go, we won't be able to cross this. We won't be able to transcend this level. Once we can transcend this level, then there is no separate identity, nothing. You get merged in Brahman or Atma, whatever you call. That you are coming back, in the 20th slide, you have come back to the 12 o'clock position. So it is a beautiful process of involution from Atma to the Prithvi, Then a step-by-step evolution from Prithvi to Oshadaya, Annamaya Purusha, Pranamaya Purusha, Manomaya Purusha, Vijnanamaya Purusha, Anandamaya Purusha to back to our real identity. So this, if you remember, that summarizes all the 5 Anuvakas we have studied. Now let us go to the 6th Anuvaka. Hope it is clear, even if you have not understood all these days. Today what I said is simple. This we should be able to keep in mind. The last day we had shown a big chart where all the difference, the parallelism with the birds, their 2 wings and the tail and all those were discussed. They are available in the last lecture, last but one also perhaps. Now let us come to the 6th Anuvaka. This section is more or less over. Now it is going to still deeper philosophical level, where we have to transcend the identity, transcend the separate identity. Asanneva sabhavati,
asanneva sabhavati,
asad brahmeti veda chet,
asad brahmeti veda chet,
asti brahmeti chet veda,
asti brahmeti chet veda,
santamenam tato viduhu,
santamenam tato viduhu
iti.
In
many cases it is viduriti, but it has some meter. Suddenly in this case a little meter has come, so I would like to read in that manner. Asanneva sabhavati,
asanneva sabhavati,
asad brahmeti veda chet,
asad brahmeti veda chet,
asti brahmeti chet veda,
asti brahmeti chet veda,
santamenam tato viduhu,
santamenam tato viduhu.
A small mantra, 2 lines, but it has so much of interpretation by Shankaracharya. He says, asanneva bhavati. Asanneva means asat eva becomes asanneva. Asat eva asanneva. Sabhavati. He becomes asat. Asat means which is not sat. Asat brahmeti veda chet. If he knows Brahman as asat, if he knows Brahman as asat, asat means which is not existing, sat means which is existing. One who knows Brahman as not existing, he becomes not existing. Asti brahmeti ched veda. Whereas if one knows Brahman as asti, means yes, he is existing. Santamenam tato viduhu. He becomes the sat. Know that he becomes sat. Chet brahma asat iti veda saha asanneva bhavati. Chet brahma asti iti veda tataha enam santam viduhu. They become one with the Brahman or Paramatma. They know Brahman, they become one with the Brahman. Now, what is the meaning of this asat? That we have to understand. Normally, sat, asat, in Rig Veda you will find that no sadasit, na sadasit, tadanim. And there was no sat, no asat at that time. There was no time also, but they are saying at time. All these statements are there. But to understand this, we have to know that when we meditate and we dive within, there is a state beyond the Anandamaya Purusha where you feel shunya, there is nothing at all. And that you start considering to be the highest. It is said that the Buddhists, they considered shunya to be the ultimate. So they are cautioning that that is not the ultimate. If you consider to be non-existence to be the ultimate, then you are also not existing. But in the argument of Shankaracharya and the Buddhists, the argument Shankaracharya won by just one simple logic. It was a time when Buddhism was spread all over, not only India, outside also. And our Vedas were at a low. It was a low tide for Vedas. So he had to argue with all the Buddhist scholars and all. On one point they lost, that Shankaracharya said that you are saying there is nothing. You are there, you are missing yourself, that is why you are saying there is nothing. Who is saying that there is nothing? You are there who is saying there is nothing. So it is you, because you are missing yourself, you are thinking that it is shunya. Actually it is purna, it is purna with yourself. And that is what the Atma is. Now, if you consider it to be shunya and there is no truth at all, then you will be given to that asat bhavana only. Now, for them, we call it Brahman or not, the Brahma becomes asat and he also becomes asat. Whereas when you come to know Brahma as the Sat, that means it is the same as your Atma. That is why Aham Brahmasmi is coming there. That it is not that it is all Shunya, but I am Brahman. That is everywhere, it is only I am. On that I, the whole universe, all the unimaginable actions, whatever is taking place, is in that same consciousness. So, such a dimension we will not be able to even imagine easily. That is why those who discover this identity with the Brahman, they are called Santam. Santam Samipe. Santam, they are called Santam, they are called saints. The next part of this mantra. Tasyaisha eva sharirātma.
Tasyaisha eva sharirātma.
Yah purvasya.
Yah purvasya.
Athato anuprashnaha.
Athato anuprashnaha.
Uta. Avidvan.
Avidvan.
Amum lokam pretya.
amum lokam pretya
kaścana gacchati.
kaścana gacchati.
See, you will find a 3 written after the gacchati. This is called Pluta. Pluta Swara. In the beginning of Shiksha Valli, when we studied, in the beginning of Taittiriya Upanishad, I had explained it. The Swara Pluta means long drawn. It will at least 3 matras will be drawn. So that they have indicated by putting a 3 number over there. Kaścana gacchati.
Kaścana gacchati.
Aho vidvan.
Aho vidvan.
Amum lokam pretya.
Amum lokam pretya.
Kaśchit samashnutau.
Kaśchit samashnutau.
This ta will be drawn to 3 matras, then no. Tasya purvasya eshaha eva shariraha atma. Yaha. This up to before this, the Anandamaya Atma, that is also having that identity, the previous identity of the Vijnanamaya, actually to the up to the Anandamaya. Ataha now the next portion of this, naturally the students will have question when the Guru said like this, that this is what the Anandamaya Atma is, and beyond Anandamaya is the ultimate Atma. So the students are asking atha ataha, atha ataha, atha ato, atha ataha, anuprashnaha, plural prashna. Therefore there are questions from the students. Uta avidvan amum lokam pretya kaścana gacchati. A person who is avidvan, who has not known the truth, when he drops his body, as amum lokam pretya, when he leaves this loka, when he drops his body, where does he go? Does he attain this Anandamaya level or the Atma, or what happens to him? It is almost like Nachiketa's question, but in a different context. Aho vidvan amum lokam pretya kaśchit samashnuta. And a person who is a knower, who has known this, known the Anandamaya also, what happens to him? What does he enjoy when he leaves the body? Pretya, when he leaves the body. Now, this amum lokam pretya, it can be interpreted in different manner. For an ordinary person, yes, it means when he leaves his body. But for a vidwan, this asman lokam pretya, asmin lokam, amum lokam pretya, it can mean that when he transcends this loka, because he has not dropped his body, but in his understanding, in his mind, in his realization, he has transcended this loka. Pretya means it is transcendence in his case. Then what happens to him? Whether he enjoys the Anandamaya state or not. Where does he go and what happens to him? That is what happens to a vidwan and what happens to one avidwan. So, naturally, now the teacher has to explain about the creation more. Whatever we have just now studied about the creation, that from here this is happening, that is happening and all, the teacher understood that the students will not be able to grasp unless we tell in another manner which will allow them to understand what happens when the body falls and when a person becomes a vidwan or not. So he starts a story with the creator. Saha akamayata. The Brahman which was alone. Now see the fallacy here. Whenever we are saying the Brahman which was alone, it is not alone in the usual sense. When we are saying he is alone means we are thinking of something alone. It's in the objectude. But Brahman is alone in the sense that it is transcending the oneness also. There is no concept of one or two there. He alone is, not that he is existing as an object. So people will not be able to understand easily. Students also. So he says that why did he create this various, this universe and all? Saha akamayata. He desired, he wished. Now where from the wish is coming? So Mundakopanishad, there is a better expression that tapasa chiyate Brahman. Yasya jnanamayam tapa. Here he is making as a story that he desired. In many other Upanishads also it is that I am alone, I wanted to become many. So here also it is bahusyam prajayeti. Bahusyam prajayeti. I want to become many. That was the wish of Brahman. Saha tapaha atapyata. Saha tapaha atapyata. This is parallel to Mundakopanishad. He did the tapasya. Now here it is in a more figurative manner so that people can easily picture it and have some idea. Saha tapaha atapyata. That means then he did tapasya. There it is tapasa chiyate brahma tato vannama vijayate. Here he says saha tapaha atapyata. He did tapasya. Sa tapas taptva. After doing the tapasya, idam sarvam asrijata. By that tapasya, he created all these, whatever we know as the universe. Yadidam kincha, whatever is seen, even the minutest thing, everything, tat srishtva, by creating that, tad eva anupravishat. Tat srishtva, tadeva anupravishat. By creating that, he entered that. Just now I told you that mostly in a figurative language they will use that. Actually it is not that the God is creating something and he is entering it after that. The whole creation is just, you think of the dream. What is happening in the dream world? How the dream world is created? It just appears in your mind. Is it not the whole dream is in your mind? So is it wrong to say that your mind or your consciousness is penetrating the whole dream world? If there is a aircraft carrier war is going on or some palace or some lecture is going on, everything, it is taking place on the substratum of your mind, on your consciousness. So the mind is penetrating everything. It is not that the mind has created the dream world, a huge dream world, and then it is entering. In that dream world, you have your personality also is there as another Vyaktitva. That personality is there in a different manner from what you are in a gross body. So it's not that he created and he entered, but it is the whole thing is appearing in the consciousness, in our case in the dream, in our own mind. So everywhere it is the mind in which the whole dream world is there. Like that, in Brahman, the whole creation is appearing to be. Tadanu pravishya, by entering that, satcha tyatcha cha abhavat. By entering that, all the formed, unformed, gross, subtle, everything he became. What is that? Many things they have said. Niruktam cha, aniruktam cha. Niruktam means which is limited by time and space. Aniruktam means which is not limited by time and space. Nilayanam cha, anilayanam cha. That is which is as the nilaya means ashraya. Atithi nilayam means atithi is ashraya, atithi can stay there. Nilayam cha, anilayanam cha. It is the ashraya of something and ashraya not ashraya also. Vijnanam cha, avidnanam cha. It is the chetana as well as it is conscious as well as unconscious. Satyam cha, anitam cha. It is the truth as well as the untruth. In the jagatika sense, in the worldly sense, it is truth as well as untruth. Satya and Mithya. Abhavat, he became. See how nice it is. We find it very difficult to believe that God has created whatever is bad in this world. God cannot create that. God creates only good. It's not like that. Whatever is there, it is just in Brahman, in truth. So here they are depicting very clearly, giving a figurative expression. Therefore, Brahman itself is Tat, which is manifesting as the Sat, as well as anything else, as the Mithya, Satya, everything. Achakshate, that is what the Brahmavid people, they say, Tadapi esha slokaha bhavati. Then we will go to the Saptama Anuvaka. We will read this once more before stopping. And voice is not cooperating. Soakamayata bahusyam prajayeti satapovatapyata satapastaptva idam sarvam asrijata yadidam kincha tat srishtva tadeva anupravishat tat eva anupravishat tadanupravishya satchatyaccha Chabhavat niruktam cha nilayanam cha vijnanam cha
Vijnanam cha vijnanam cha
Satyam cha nritam cha
Satyam cha nritam cha
Satyam abhavatu
Satyam abhavat
Yadidam kincha
Yadidam kincha
Tat satyamityachakshate
Tat satyamityachakshate
Tadapyesha shloko bhavati
Tadapyesha shloko bhavati.
We will stop here with the Shanti mantra. You can go deeply into the meaning of each, how the duality is transcended. The niruktam, aniruktam, nilayanam, anilayanam, vijnanam, avijnanam, satyam, anritam. Therefore he is all, everything inclusive, all inclusive. And because he is all inclusive, the Brahmavid knows him as the truth. So although he is both truth and mithya, both truth and untruth, the real truth is transcending our usual concept of truth and untruth, duality. Om Sahana Bhavatu
Om Sahana Bhavatu
Sahanau Bhunaktu
Sahanau Bhunaktu
Sahaviryam Karavavahai
Sahaviryam Karavavahai
Tejasvinavadhitamastu
Tejasvinavadhitamastu
Ma vidvishavahai
Ma vidvishavahai.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.